Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Now I know that we're in a new month. We're in the month of April, but I really want to raise awareness of this cause. Last month I made a promise to raise awareness of 6 causes. I ended up raising awareness of 5, but I still want to go ahead and raise this one. And I'm talking about multiple sclerosis. Now, multiple sclerosis is a potentially disabling disease of the brain and spinal cord. In MS, as it's also called, the immune system attacks the protective sheath that covers nerve fibers and causes communication problems between the brain and the rest of the body. Eventually, the disease can cause permanent damage or deterioration of the nerves. Now, signs and symptoms of MS vary widely and depend on the amount of nerve damage and which nerves are affected. Some people with severe MS may lose the ability to walk independently or at all, while others may experience long periods of remission without any new symptoms. Now, there's no cure for it. However, treatments can help speed the recovery from attacks, modify the course of the disease, and manage symptoms. From my understanding, you can't die from MS. Instead, you die from any complications you may have from it. A perfect example of this is one of the most beloved actors and comedians, and I'm talking about Richard Pryor, was diagnosed with MS in the 90s, and he died in 2005. But he didn't die from MS, he died from a heart attack that was triggered from MS. And there are some folks that have MS, but they're still striving. And I'm talking about one of the most beloved talk show hosts, Montel Williams. Due to his diagnosis, he did have to cancel his long-running talk show, The Montel Williams Show. But every once in a while, he does special syndicated specials, and he pretty much becomes an inspiration to so many people. But he's the shining example that it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. Because you can be diagnosed with anything like MS or breast cancer or anything like that, but it doesn't have to have you. Alright, this is an MS Awareness Comic Hero tee. Now, I'm going to go ahead and now I shelved all the other shirts for the month of March, but I'm going to keep this up for one more week. I personally know some folks that have battled and lost their lives to MS, and I know some folks that are currently living with MS. And my hearts go out to them and the families of those who are no longer with us. Alright, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on last week's episode, I asked true or false, Starfire is an original Teen Titan. Well, the correct answer is false. The Teen Titans were first formed in 1964 in an issue of The Brave and the Bold. And the original members consisted of the Dick Grayson Robin, Speedy, Aqualad, and the Wally West Kid Flash. But they didn't officially become the Teen Titans until a few years later, when the Donna Troy Wonder Girl joined the team. Now, Starfire didn't become a member of the Teen Titans until 1980. And that was around the time other members like Raven, Beast Boy, and Cyborg joined the team. Well, the correct answer is false, and 3 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, the name's been entered in the drawing for a free tee, and that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Brittany Tippett from Monroe, Louisiana. So congratulations, Brittany. You win something free Comic Hero team. All right, here's the question for next week's episode, or should I say episode 397. And I'll tell you why at the end of the show. But here's the question for episode 397, and this is a Deadpool question. Which farm animal is Deadpool afraid of? Now, I'm only going to give one hint, so pay attention. This animal is a fully grown female animal of a domesticated breed of ox, kept to produce milk or beef. I'll be able to get it now. All right, everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tea on episode 397. All right, now D'Angelo Ballou from Warren, Ohio has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features one of the most deranged, used to be villains, now is an anti-hero in the DC Universe, going up against one of the most beloved Inhumans in the Marvel Universe. Representing DC, we have Harley Quinn. And representing Marvel, we have Medusa. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Harley Quinn versus Medusa. Harley Quinn is a trained psychiatrist and expert gymnast who possesses enhanced strength, durability, stamina, reflexes and agility, immunity to various toxins, and use of weaponized props. Medusa possesses prehensile hair, superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, agility, and reflexes. Who would win? This fight will be back and forth for almost 10 minutes. Over time, Harley soon realizes that Medusa has a telepathic link to her own hair. Harley trips up Medusa and proceeds to whack Medusa in the face with her mallet. Harley Quinn wins. But wait! Harley decides that that's not enough and pulls out a pair of gigantic scissors. She attempts to cut off Medusa's hair, but ends up breaking the scissors. You see, Medusa's hair is stronger than steel, and not only that, but the hair has a mind of its own when Medusa is either sleeping or unconscious. The hair begins to choke out Harley just as the latter calls on her pet hyenas. They attempt to free her, but Medusa regains consciousness and viciously kicks both hyenas. Meanwhile, Medusa's hair completely chokes out Harley and slams her to the ground. Medusa wins. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown! Alright, thank you D'Angelo Ballou for that fight. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll have another one for episode 397. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there's only one thing I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and that's my review of the current Incredible Hulk series entitled, well, Hulk. Now, I have the first 4 issues of this. Now, what's going on in this book is that Bruce Banner has split the Hulk into 3 parts. Now, the Hulk's body has been turned into a starship with Banner's psyche piloted from the Hulk's mind. And Hulk's psyche fills the starship with his anger, which Banner harnesses by locking the Hulk in what he calls the engine room and sending escalating levels of opponents for him to fight. Now, this all happens as a result of a very mysterious tragedy that happens in the city of El Paso, Texas, and the Hulk is blamed for it. So Banner ends up doing all this, and he ends up escaping to a pocket dimension. And in this dimension, Bruce Banner never becomes the Hulk. Now what happens is that remember the gamma bomb testing that resulted in him becoming the Hulk? Well, it becomes a success. Now it hasn't really been said whether Rick Jones was on the test site or not, but it becomes a success, and it also results in the government and Banner doing gamma bombing all throughout the world. And in some parts of it, some of the folks in certain countries become deranged versions of the Hulk. And not only that, but a lot of things about the Marvel Universe as we know it are completely different. Or it's different in this dimension than it is in the Marvel Universe we know. For starters, the government goes all in on Bolivar Trask's Sentinel program, and all mutants are deceased. And if that wasn't enough, Tony Stark never becomes Iron Man. Instead, he still does. He still, runs Stark Industries, but Stark Industries is strictly a company that manufactures weapons of mass destruction. But over time, he ends up filing for bankruptcy and then drinks himself to death. And if that wasn't enough, Peter Parker doesn't become Spider-Man, or in this instance, the Spider-Man that we know. Now, instead of being accidentally bitten by an irradiated spider, Peter becomes a test subject of a genetically engineered spider that ends up being imbued with gamma radiation. So he pretty much becomes a Spider Hulk, if you will. And in the last issue of Hulk, which was number 4, Hulk goes up against the Spider Hulk. And now for starters, I forgot to tell you, this book is written by Donny Cates, who just brilliantly wrote the entire volume of Venom, and with art by Ryan Ottley. Now Ottley is no stranger to anyone that's read comics. I mean, he has done artwork on the soon-to-be previous version of the Amazing Spider-Man, but he's really best known for his work on the Image series entitled Invincible. And this series is a little different. Now the previous series, the Immortal Hulk, that literally scared the crap out of me. I mean, Al Ewing saved his best work for all 50 issues of that book. Now, I'll be honest, I kind of had the same thoughts that everyone did when it came to Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley being on this Hulk series. I mean, we're all thinking, is this gonna work? Is it not? And so far, it's a little too hard to tell. I mean, it's only been 4 issues, but the idea of Banner turning the Hulk's body into a starship, that there's been a theory that's been going on for some time that in some instances, Banner is a lot deadlier than the Hulk, and we're really starting to see this right now. I'm going to keep reading it, and if anything awesome happens in this book, I will let y'all know. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is Action Comics number 1041. Avengers Forever number 4. Ben Reilly Spider-Man number 3. Detective Comics number 1056. Detective Comics number 1058. The Flash number 779. Iron Man number 18. Robin number 12. Savage Spider-Man number 2. Teen Titans Academy number 13. Trial of the Amazons, Wonder Girl, number 1. And finally, Wonder Woman, number 784. All right, that's 12, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 11,258. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. And here's a question for a free tee for episode 397. Which farm animal is Deadpool afraid of? Now, here's the only hint that I'm going to give. The name of his animal is a fully grown female animal of a domesticated breed of ox, kept to produce milk or beef. Everyone who answers correctly will be in the drawing for a free tee on episode 397. And congratulations to Brittany Tippett from Monroe, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this episode. All right, on episode 396, I'm going to show some love to the Kansas Jayhawks and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, last night, the Kansas Jayhawks won a national championship by defeating North Carolina 72-69. And I'm going to show some love to them. And I'm also going to show some love to the South Carolina Gamecocks, who won the women's Final Four in the national championship game by defeating the Yukon Huskies 64-49. I'm going to wear Comic Hero tees based on them. So if you're for either South Carolina or Kansas, whether you be a student, a graduate, a fan, faculty, I mean, if you're for any one of these two schools, episode 396 is for y'all. And then on episode 397, I'm going to raise awareness of autism. Now, autism, in my field of work, I've lent my services to folks with autism. And they see the world a lot differently, and in most cases, a lot more structured than we do. Then on episode 398, I'm going to raise awareness of oral cancer. Now, this is oral cancer is a kind of cancer that a lot of folks really don't know about, but it's a lot more common than you think. And in episode 399, I'm not really decided. I'm somewhat undecided as to what I'm going to do, but if y'all have any suggestions, please let me know. And then at the beginning of May, the 400th episode of the show. And I tell you, I'm just very blessed to have been doing the show this long. And I'm just hoping for many more to come. And if y'all want to send any video greetings to me, please let me know. If y'all have any suggestions for that 400th episode or any other episode, please let me know. I mean, as y'all all know, when it comes to the input of others, even though it's my show, y'all never fall upon deaf ears with me. All right, I'm Victor Nunley on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next time for episode 396, where I show some love to the South Carolina Gamecocks and the Kansas Jayhawks. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero!